In the tiniest cracks, in the smallest house, lives the 1-inch writer. He is only 1 inch tall. He sleeps on a bed of belly-button lint. He eats crumbs left over from the meals of ants. And he, this 1-inch tall man, is also a writer.
Hi there, Bickies. I'm 1 inch tall and I'm a writer.
He has a lake of ink from a tiny ballpoint pen and uses the eyelash of a spider as a quill. There are advantages to being a 1-inch writer. Just like how a single crumb from a biscuit can feed him for a month, a few words of writing becomes a giant war and peace-sized epic.
NaNoWriMo is easy for a 1 inch writer. 50,000 words in a month? I just need to write 5 words for an equivalent amount.
Yes, at the scale of a 1-inch writer, small stories can fill whole door-stopping novels. It takes the 1-inch writer nearly a week to write a single word, but that word means so much.
It's not just writing. I invested a single penny at my bank, and since I'm only 1 inch tall, I've earned the equivalent of $1 million in interest.
The 1-inch tall writer. He rides a flea to work every morning. He has a teardrop from a mouse as a swimming pool. And he writes giant Russian novels of nearly a dozen words, because for a 1-inch writer, a dozen words is truly enormous.
I am a 1 inch writer.
In the farthest reaches of the vastest galaxy lives the 1 light-year writer. He is 1 light-year tall, or 6 trillion miles. He plays ball games with planets. His hideout is within a black hole, and he, this 1 light-year tall man, is also a writer.
Hello, mortals. I am 1 light-year tall, and I am a writer.
He takes a star and writes upon cosmic dust using its coronal ejections. His stories span across entire nebulae. There are advantages to being a 1 light-year writer. He can write countless words with a single stroke of his pen. Novels so large and complex they would turn even Robert Jordan's brain into spaghetti are baby's picture books for him.
NaNoWriMo is easy for a 1 light-year writer. 50,000 words in a month? I can write that amount in 22 femtoseconds.
Yes, at the scale of a 1 light-year writer. He can write stories infinite amount of words long in just a few weeks. He writes whole tax code manuals as simple warm-ups. At his size, an entire civilization's collective words is nothing.
I used the diamond exoplanet to get a candy bar from a vending machine. And yes, that diamond exoplanet is real. Look it up.
The 1 light-year writer. He surfs the cosmic expansion. His farts create gamma-ray bursts. And he writes simple children's stories, quintillions of words long, because for a 1 light-year writer, a quintillion words is truly nothing.
I am a 1 light-year writer.
Hey, David, which one of those do you relate to more, the 1-inch writer or the 1 light-year writer?
Definitely the 1 light-year writer.
Yeah, it's the 1-inch writer for me.
I figured as much, Donald.
Welcome, fellow nerds, to another episode of The Ritwits, the best dang writing show in the whole dang internet. Gosh darn it. Dang nabbit. F***ing hell.
I was wondering what the upshot of that was going to be.
Originally it was going to be f***ing cocksucker, but then then I have to do...
Then you have to do more bleeps.
Which I just have to do
yeah,
now.
Again, you just...
And this isn't my show, Paleobites, so we have to do... We can add velociraptor noises.
If you are interested in dinosaur culture, prehistoric animals, please check out Paleobites. It is really good.
Yep. It's
anyway.
gotten some good reviews so far, but I guess we'll talk a little bit about that later. Some good reviews, one not so good.
Are we talking about your reviews for that show on here? Really?
I'm a creator. I gotta.
Anyways, welcome back to our set.
I could talk about what we have writ, but it'd be more like what other people have writ about me.
Yeah, that's true. You didn't writ that.
I write my own
you
reviews.
You received it. It's like a letter. They sent it to you.
Yeah, like a fan mail. Which we'll get to, but anyways.
Anyhow.
First, though, we got to talk about this heck of a word.
That's amazing.
I was going to make a segue way about it after reading the definition, but I don't want to sound dumb and mispronounce it. So I can't. You've stumped me.
Vocabulary vitamin of the month for this set is truculent.
I was thinking it was truculent. I was like, is it truculent or truculent?
Truculent. A simple definition: eager to argue, like we get often on this show.
We're quite truculent on this show.
Well, okay, for what it's worth, we're
such
really,
rampant tomfoolery.
we're really truculent with each other about inane crap that has nothing to do with the show itself.
Get a job. Oh, you're getting a job now. So there we go. That's
sample sentence using the word.
I was hoping you would say, "Stop talking so fast," because that's the thing you sell to me all the time. Sorry, sample sentence.
My teenage son is so truculent that I'm losing my patience.
My teenage son, I feel like for that, my adolescent son is so truculent. I'm losing my patience. My patience
needs to be a very proper accent, obviously. Now go out there and take your
Queen's
vitamin,
English.
listeners, until the next set where we have another. If you'd like to share excerpts where you're using the vocab vitamin of the month, please get in touch with us. We'll tell you how at the end of the episode.
I'm feeling quite truculent today.
Speaking of being truculent, here's a way to piss off your readers.
Well, they could be truculent to you. Truculent doesn't sound like a real word. It sounds like a Zerg creature. The Zerg truculent. You got the Zerglings, the Mutalisks, and the truculents.
Don't forget about the Hydralisks. Anyway.
Hydralisks, Ultralisks, Banglings.
That said, here's a good way to piss off your readers.
Swarmlings.
A different way to end
Yes.
a character's arc. How about you write out a character, but leave their arc deliberately unfinished?
It's like if we just canceled the show out of the blue.
Shock and awe. Like, not so much that the story is canceled, but just
then
that
not
suddenly,
the-
out of the blue, they're gone. Put on a bus with their relationships to the other characters either unfinished or even unmentioned.
Like Roxanne in a Goofy movie.
She wasn't written out.
She was.
What
You ever seen
could-
an extremely Goofy movie?
An extremely goofy movie she wasn't in, but the
Yeah.
movie itself, the first one, she was still there.
I guess it's true, and her arc was finished.
Yeah.
But then they broke up off screen. She's not even mentioned, which I guess happens with high school relationships. So maybe it's not that bad. But I just know
Stop being so truculent.
a lot of fans raised a truculent fit. It's like, where's Roxanne?
I think we're going to set a record with how many times we use the vocab vitamin of the month in the episode this time.
It sounds like a different way I could sneeze. Like, that's truculent.
All right, but seriously, what?
I don't like them truculent. I like them succulent. Yeah. Yeah, I'll lick my lips all creepy like.
Ritwit, come
Ladies,
for the lame jokes.
I'm available.
And stay for the lack of professionalism. Here we go. What could compel a writer to do this? Seriously, why? Here's where the well-worn question actually might be somewhat interesting.
Yes.
What in the world could possibly be the benefits of leaving a character's arc unfinished?
Looking at the jarringness of the nature of the story, like if this character had all these hopes and dreams, they could do so much, and then sniper shoots them in the head.
Yeah.
Life is cruel, and so off they go. Off their brains go.
Mm-hmm.
It can make the world of your story seem brutal and nihilistic, and if that's what you're going for, then yay, go for it.
Sure, might as well live up to your dreams.
It can also be a good motivator for the hero, and that seeing that someone else's arc wasn't finished, but maybe that can inspire them to finish theirs.
Especially if it was the same one.
Yeah,
Especially if they were working together.
that's true. Well, if it's like a collective arc, then it isn't unfinished by one character dying, though.
If all of them met their end and it wasn't finished, that'd
It's
be
like-
way different.
Like the arc of,
But at that point, you probably need a time skip before you can have any more story.
well, it's like, I was thinking like in Lord of the Rings, the arc in one way is to throw the ring into Mount Doom. Boromir doesn't make it, but that's not Boromir's arc. His arc is to like,
His arc is to get help for Gondor.
yeah, get help for Gondor and to like get over the temptation of the One Ring and then accept, Aragorn as the true heir. So
You were reminding me, saying, the character has all these hopes and dreams. They can do so much, and you talk about the potential of a future, and any time that somebody meets an untimely end, especially at such a young age, and I was reminded of high school where I had a classmate.
yeah, commit
You commit suicide. So
Actually, I've heard the term is be a victim of suicide now. I mean, not to get all PC here, but
enough.
but
enough.
because
I could see it.
because suicide. I mean, commit means it's a crime, which I guess in some religions it is a crime. But also,
they say those people who do will go to hell. So I can
well,
see
there's a
why
lot
that's
of reasons.
still-
I'm going to go to heaven for the climate, go to hell for the company. I say. Oh, Mark Twain said that, I think. So,
Well, you don't get the climate if you go to one. Anyway,
but like no, but it's called that because like it's often because you are so depressed that you literally see no other thing, and that's what happens. So yeah, you are a victim of suicide.
I could understand that logic.
So anyways, but yeah, so like.
But if you don't have like a bleak story,
Yeah, it's
to
just
get off
if
this
it's
topic.
not so bleak. It's just a character written out and going without mention at the point onwards, and the benefit to that could make room for more interesting characters.
Sure.
Like TV Tropes calls this being put on a bus, is which is the thing that you said earlier that I wrote for.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And it just happens often enough that there clearly must be some reason why writers keep doing it. So
I have my suspicions about why the writers would do that, but we'll get to that in a bit.
characters said something.
No, I think they.
The actor said something.
I think they just stopped caring. But anyway,
okay.
the lack of fulfillment may leave a bad taste in mouths all over.
Yes.
Particularly in this story.
Mhm.
Maybe the remaining cast takes up a torch for the poor soul. It could change motivations for the other cast,
Yes.
aligning the story to a different spark of inspiration you had after starting.
Right.
Perhaps that moment reaffirms the desire of your focal character to live out their dreams in spite of the cruel, cruel world.
Oh no.
Likely you're just using it to add noir to your story, but I believe the most
Ooh.
popular reason to terminate an arc without living up to the promise it had, you stopped being so invested and yearned to go a different direction with no ceremony whatsoever.
Oh, that's fine. It's like you just stopped caring about the character. Who cares if the right readers kept caring about the character? You're like, off they go. Into the trash compactor.
Well, and I mean, yes, you can't control what readers will think about the characters you put on the page, but you're the one writing the story, not them. If they want to write fan fiction about it, be my guest, kind of a thing.
That's true. That's true. Like fan fiction, it can go so many ways.
It really can. Do you prefer coming out? Do you, the Twits, prefer
Yeah,
coming
do
up?
I
with
specifically?
do no. Anyway, do you prefer coming up with an offhand reason for the character's absence, or just having them disappear and have everyone seemingly forget their existence?
Well, it depends on how important the character was.
Wow, how way to forget such an important word.
Look, I'm hungry. I forget that words just fall out of me. They fall out me. I forget word. If they disappear without mention, because who cares? Because they're not important. If they were important, though, you better come up with some reason, offhand or otherwise.
Yeah.
And if they were important enough that it warrant the reason that your arc is unfinished, you better have a dang good explanation. Like, if you're writing for a big TV show and the actor couldn't return after the first couple of apperances. Like
Off-screen drama, man, I tell you.
or it's just like, wow, we have a limited budget. Why did we hire Brad Pitt for the lead role?
Crap, our CGI is going to get worse. Well, I mean,
our budget was spent after 2 episodes.
well, and you know,
Quick, get the cardboard boxes.
well, and unfortunately, you have to wrangle the egos of all of the talent involved,
Yes.
as well as all the production staff.
Mhm.
So sometimes those things don't meet, and you can't avoid it in certain circumstance where like somebody is changed, they replace a character straight up because of availability issues or legal troubles or whatever.
Right. Well, I know
You
that like in Friends, for the last 2 seasons, they were like one of the things they wanted to do is like, okay, well this show's been going on for a while. We could move on to other things, or we could really increase our pay here. And so what they did, they went up to the creators of the show, all 6 members, because since they're all super important and they all get a collective sort of thing. They're like, we each want to be paid $1 million an episode for this show to continue. And they were thinking that they would just be like, okay, we're just going to not continue the show. But the show is so big still. And they were like, okay, done. And they're like, all right.
All
So
you can do is put yourself out there. I have a feeling they expected to do some haggling.
yeah. So and that's about $40 million they made from the last 2 seasons. Because again, about 20 Well, like the last
40
season,
million each. That's the main amazing
Yeah,
thing.
so that's $240 million spent by the producers of that show on the last 2 seasons.
On the main cast only. That doesn't count all the other people you need to fill
all
out
the
an episode.
all the rampant CGI and special effects a good
We're
Friends
just gonna
episode
Photoshop somebody in here.
a good Friends episode needs. The monkey was being too ridiculous. They had
This
to
isn't
CGI the monkey.
MCU. Come on. Anyway, aside from offering the chance to make a brick joke when they're finally remembered,
Right. Hey, didn't there used to be this girl named Roxanne I was going out with? Where did she go?
I think it's appropriate to give a reason.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be certifiable by others, won't have to necessarily pass the sniff test, even, if you don't want the character involved anymore. There are plenty of ways to make them fade into the background. So try creating a reason rather than just dumping them out like yesterday's garbage. Is that easy enough? Can we promise to do that?
I'd say it's
Okay.
easy enough.
All right.
I don't know, but I like garbage.
You don't like the smell of it. That's why it's tossed out, right?
I guess that's true. No, I like the smell. No, I hate the smell.
If you were an insect, you wouldn't care.
Oh, insects love the smell of it. Dogs love the smell of it.
Well, dogs just smell it really strongly. I don't know if they like it or if it's.
Oh, they
that
love to
potent.
roll in it. Like,
Hogs really love to roll in. Anyway.
I heard hogs are very clean animals, actually. Well, that's what.
Yeah, totally. That's why every single place you see them is called a sty, even if it's not messy.
Yeah. Well,
That's where the word came from.
pig owners come, say they're clean animals, but as they show footage of them just like eating food, like
Slop all over
Yeah.
themselves, rolling around in muck.
Clean compared to what? You maybe.
It'd be a pretty sorry day when you saw a pig owner who was dirtier than the pigs. They
Oh,
owned.
that's. Oh, I've lost all the pig owners here. Okay, we we're already almost halfway through this thing, and we're only 10 minutes in, so let's pad it out a little here. One time, actually, several times in Starbucks, some people bring their animals through.
I thought you weren't naming the coffee shop you worked at for comedic reasons.
I'm back there, and who cares at this point?
Oh, okay. If they slap a lawsuit on us, it's on you, sir.
Okay, I'm sorry, not Starbucks. Space Bucks. 1 million Space Bucks. So when I was working at Space Bucks, a lot of times,
I feel like you should say I work at Galaxy Burger.
well, yeah.
as an extension of burger, it starts with the same couple letters.
Well,
as
that
Bucks, and Galaxy's an expansion of Star.
Galaxy Burger's in Ratchet and Clank, though.
Galaxy Burger is like a Nickelodeon thing, isn't it?
Oh, well, maybe Ratchet and Clank was referencing Galaxy Burger at one point.
I don't.
I
can't remember anymore.
let's say, like it was Up Your Arsenal. They mentioned a few times, like.
I haven't seen Up
Skid's
Your
like,
Arsenal
I
for a
would have
while.
been here sooner, but I've encountered some heavy-duty resistance. And Clank's like, enemy troops. Like, well, not exactly.
The
The
line with
drive-through at
Galaxy
Galaxy
Burger
Burger
was-
was wicked slow.
That's right. I do remember
Okay.
that now.
And like at one point, like Quark proceeded to stall for time while drawing out plans from the women's restroom at Galaxy Burger.
That one's probably in the second one.
No,
though.
that's in the third one because it's the Quark vid comics.
Oh, that's right. Okay. I was thinking it was when they.
Anyways, when I was in Space Bucks, someone
you were in Space
I was in the store known
Wasn't
as.
it a wonderful movie, Spacebugs?
No, you're thinking of Space Balls. Can I finish the goddamn story already?
You were the one who wanted Patty.
All right, well, it's my own dang fault. Anyway, people like to bring their animals through, like often it's like puppies and other stuff. But one time someone brought in a little piglet, and the people inside the store with me
We're squealing with joy,
they
right?
melted. Like they like, oh my god, it's such a cute little piglet. Oh, it's just... Anyways.
Presented without comment. Our imitation pig sounds. Anyhow,
What?
are you moving on, or are you?
Where was I? I think yeah, I'm done.
Okay,
I wrote
all right.
I did my stuff. I did my parts.
That wasn't the point. I'm saying, do you? Okay, are you trying to expand this further? Or
No,
you want me to read the
we're
question?
good. I'm really hungry though. I'm gonna order Uber Eats. Hold on. No.
What devices, like story devices, can the twits recommend for the sudden disappearance of a character?
It depends on how important the character is, but the popular choices are a sudden move, a reassignment to another location. Antarctica seems to be oddly popular here for some reason.
I wonder why. Maybe we'll find their bodies in the ice.
I'm sweating like a pig here.
And the door's open. This is terrible.
An off-screen breakup if they're a love interest, or my absolute favorite, no mention at all. They're just gone. Where are they gone? Who cares? I only. I only like this because it's really funny and trollish.
And you hate the character.
Well-
You don't care at all. So you're just like, I'm done. They're not appearing ever again. No
Like-
mention, nothing at all.
So in the first Ice Age movie,
Oh, wow.
it's the only one with people in it. The whole plot of the movie is about these 3 prehistoric animals returning their lost baby back to his tribe of other humans. But after the first movie, the humans are seemingly written out of existence.
Maybe they didn't survive because it got so cold.
That's the opposite of how it is in the real world. Like, well, the third movie does have dinosaurs. So I guess it is going backwards in time. But the humans are still ripping out of existence, which is a shame because, again, they're missing out on the cool stuff later on, like the dinosaurs that were in the franchise.
Well, you would have. I don't know what you would have done to be there actively in that time of history when dinosaurs apparently existed in the Ice Age.
Well, have you seen the third Ice Age movie?
I've only seen clips of it.
Okay, so it's a lost world hidden. It's not even that far deep. Like, it's not like the center of the earth sort of
Wow,
thing.
it's not even Jules Verne levels. That's
It's like maybe Sid happens to encounter some eggs in a cave from a T-Rex, and he carries them up. And then later on, the T-Rex comes on to claim him. And it's just down to some caves, like maybe 100 feet deep.
yeah.
So, anyways. But it's like you have dinosaurs in this. Bring the cavemen back, so that way you can have an in-universe explanation on why there's cavemen and dinosaurs together.
What do you bet? What do you bet they would have done it, and they wouldn't have said a freaking word about why? Just to piss you off.
I don't know, but technically this doesn't count because the humans arc in the first movie was completed, but still you have to wonder.
Fair enough. As far as my favorite devices to use, a sudden move back home, tragic fatal accident, spirited away by aliens.
Spirited
How much
away.
time do you have? Spirited Away, taken.
That's a weird term.
You never heard it before?
No, I've heard of the movie Spirited Away, an anime by Hayao Miyazaki.
For what it's worth,
Is that why it's called Spirited Away?
that's not why I said Spirited Away here, but I probably
Because she was spirited away to
if
this.
if she's abducted, then yes, that might be why.
I couldn't finish that movie. Everyone's like, oh, because it's a perfect masterpiece. I couldn't. It's too weird for
Tastes are subjective. But no, for what it's worth, the Japanese term they use for sudden disappearance is like invokes a god just plucking somebody up and you're gone, spirited away.
me. All right.
So that's why I used it. But anyway, yeah, there's plenty of other reasons if you give me enough time to think, come up with them. But I'm mostly kidding. For what it's worth, if you're that desperate to rid yourselves of this character, just about spaghetti at the wall level reasoning will bring something that you'll latch onto as justification anyway.
Right, exactly.
Now then, what other avenues does abruptly writing off a character without closure open up for the writer?
You can focus on characters that deserve more attention or get rid of characters that are liabilities to the rest of the cast. And also this is a good way to turn things back to the status quo if the characters threaten to change the story a bit too much.
If they suddenly exceeded their original envision, the popularity soared because you couldn't predict that.
Right. But, if you're past the writing point... Oh, wait, hold on. Wait, that's you. I need to stop reading from... I need to bring my computer next time.
I did say something, and you were at a place you could have done it.
You know what I've always loved about our relationship? You have no problem saying I told you so. No problems whatsoever. And not only, you say it, you, hold up a neon sign.
I told you so.
Can you read it? Here, I'll push this button. That's
Here,
bigger.
let's make it brighter.
I told you so. And I'm like, all right, good. Anyways, there's a lot you can do. And again, done poorly, it pisses a lot of your readers off. But done well, and they'll probably forget that this character was ever a thing.
Like you did.
Yes.
Oh, wait.
Wait, who are we talking about? Who are we talking about? Oh, that's
Who
the
is
point.
that character?
That's the point, yeah. Roxanne, who?
Without that ballast, the author can reinvest the time into a tighter core cast.
Okay.
This character won't be missed, which decreases the number of balls to juggle for a lesser experience, or simply too grandiose,
Right.
writer. If you're past the writing point and into editing, you might consider modifying them so their initial use is folded into a different character and they don't even need to disappear because they don't have to appear at all. Removing the fluffy wool off this story sheep and tightening up or expanding roles makes for a better use of space and gives those characters more to do.
Oh,
within reason, of
yes.
course. All of this just because you're bold enough to send the character to the mythical ether, Davy Jones' locker, the river Styx, pick your locale, without worrying.
The McDonald's off 11th.
Or off of 12th.
The Space Box. The Galaxy Burger.
The Galaxy Burger. Without worrying if their arc was properly knotted and decorated for giving someone else a gift or not.
Of course, of course.
I mean, the problem is that when you have a character that you're no longer invested in writing,
Mm-hmm.
then you either have to come up with a way to do it, which we talked about last time, or you gotta be creative and giving yourself a reason to get out of writing it.
Right, like, yeah, reassign them to Antarctica. Get them shot in the head. Like,
Ignominious death.
just
for what it's
make them forgotten in general.
well, and these things happen all the time. How many of our listeners grew up with a class in school, you obviously,
Yes.
that the personnel never changed? Like, you went through 6 years of elementary school and you didn't have anybody move out, nobody else move in.
Are you describing the show Boy Meets World, where the teacher is always the same?
Well, not the teacher. I'm saying the students.
Well, I know you mean the students, but
But I mean, that's the point. Like, life happens. Parents have to move for a job. You're not gonna have exactly the same people. Like, once I had an idea that I was gonna go through my high school yearbook and look at the senior class and go through the other yearbooks and cross out the people that didn't make it to graduation just because I was curious.
Ooh, that sounds kind of mean, honestly.
No, not as a mean-spirited thing. Just to
Yeah.
know how many people that I'd go to school with that didn't actually graduate with us.
That's true. They could have transferred to another school. That doesn't necessarily mean they dropped out.
I didn't. It's not like I'm saying, hold on, let me take out my list here, my death note, if you will, and cross them off.
And all right, that adds up to the death pool, the dead pool.
But I mean, you have to find a way to do that with a character. And frankly, if the character is so disliked by you, the writer who created them anyway,
Yeah,
then probably why you had them, you can fold into somebody else's character without too much issue.
I'd say so. Yeah.
And then you just remove the problem. But obviously, you don't want to do that mid-draft, because if you do it mid-draft, you're going to have to revise the stuff that came before.
Right.
So I'm thinking that probably comes after you've written it, and it's like, I really don't care about this character.
And if you've tried everything you can to care about the character and you still can't, they're clearly not a very good character. So who cares if they're
So do something to make
ended
them better.
their arc? Yeah.
Change your opinion, change them, something.
I don't know. Anyways.
Joke question. I promise we'll keep it a secret if this is the case, but is the main cause of this, honestly, the author forgetting the character exists?
If an author forgets their own character exists, then I'd be amazed. But sure. I mean, Stephen King has whole books that he's forgotten he's ever written because he was on such a cocaine bender.
Well, I mean, for what it's worth, when you have so many different things going in your brain, like
Mhm.
you come, especially in my circumstance, where I'll come back to my fix after a long time, that sometimes I forgot that I dropped this thing in there. Now,
Right.
if that thing happens to be an entire freaking character, then that's a problem for me. But nevertheless,
I guess
it
that would
could
happen. That would happen like if it's a long time between installments, maybe.
a long time between your work
Like-
on an installment.
Well, like
especially.
also like yeah, that's what I mean. Not like in universe, like
Yeah, in
time
universe is
skips.
different.
But like like those books I was talking to you about like a while back, the Clan of the Cave Bear, like that was the first one.
Mhm.
And what are those?
I actually have a couple of.
I know, like I forget what the series is called, but it's like in the
Earth's
Ice Age.
Children.
Earth's Children, yeah. The first book came out in I think 1981, maybe 79. I don't know, but the last book came out in 2018, and there's only 6 of them, by the way, and they're pretty evenly spaced out.
Gee,
6 or
George-
7 years between them. So
Gee, George R.R. Martin has something to aspire to.
God. George R.R. Martin can go to hell. Nah, he's all right. I'm sure he got caught up in his own fame, I think.
I think the problem.
And not like the same thing wouldn't happen to me if I were.
How are those Megazoic movie rights coming?
Shut your face! Shut your goddamn face!
Was that this episode?
No, it's the next episode.
Dang it!
So, because we might not do it.
I don't know. Anyway, no. For what it's worth, though, I mean, it's always rewarding when somebody else thinks you're sitting on a gold mine.
Yes.
For an IP, and so to okay, well, sure, I'll commit to doing this, and all of a sudden it becomes so encompassing that you don't have a chance to really finished the idea that you wanted to work on originally.
Right.
I mean, things evolve. Why else do you think there are a bunch of music majors working in various other industries out there?
Well, that's true. Like, yeah, exactly. Like, this isn't a very lucrative field. So if you can make it lucrative, then good on you, I guess. But
Well, and hopefully he has the time left to see his vision through to the end.
I hope he doesn't. Just from a trolling standpoint.
Well, I mean, you were talking about if you want to troll people, you'll leave their arc unfinished. And speaking of which, do you have anything else to say about it?
Nope, I'm good.
Then I guess we'll say that's it for this week.
That's it for this week,
All
bitch
right.
ass. So wow, I have a dirty mouth today.
You see what I had to put up with, listeners?
Yeah.
Oh,
What you have to
Slav.
put up with.
Well, you have to edit it all, but I have to put up with this every time we record. Anyway,
Well,
really,
I have to put up with you being like, I told you so. You can slow down now.
it's not my fault you don't actually listen.
It's not my fault that it is my fault that I swear a lot and do other silly stuff. It's totally my fault. All right, well, if you want to contact us for some reason, oh, by the way, huge thank you to all our patrons so far, including Christina E.
Yeah, very, very much appreciated for the support. For more information on how to get to that, check out patreon.com/Matthew Donald.
Yes,
There's
I forgot
information
to
about
say that last time.
well, I mean, it's patron spelled with an E. A lot of creators.
Oh, everyone
are
knows what
putting
Patreon is. Or maybe not, I don't know.
That's why I'm doing
Okay,
it.
so
You can check the link in the description.
Patreon is this way that us starving artists can capitalize a bit on our income by, yeah.
People that want to support us directly
It's the
can do that.
non-sexual OnlyFans, except OnlyFans is.
I think I saw something
yeah.
that said OnlyFans is banning not safe for work content. So I'm
so
like,
only-
why
there
is
goes
the platform,
OnlyFans.
I was about to say, why does the platform exist at this point?
It's like Tumblr. It's like Tumblr lost a lot of its stuff when they got rid of the porn.
Probably so. I never bothered using Tumblr,
Yeah,
but that's
neither
why
did
my
I.
mom was so adamant about my sister not using it. Anyway,
Anyways, you can contact us. You can rate us on Apple Podcasts if you want, like some
Yeah.
people have done with my show Paleo Bites.
wherever you're listening to it, we thank you. If you could leave us a like or rating, give us some feedback.
Yep.
If you have questions, episode ideas,
Mhm.
you want to share those excerpts we were talking about using truculent, the vocab.
That's
vitamin
true.
of
As
the
soon as
month.
you said we've been using that a lot, we stopped using it.
We jinxed it, I tell you.
Even though we have been quite truculent to each other. That's why I put up with you. No, that's why I put up with you. Stop with your truculences, your truculency.
I'm not sure what the form that word would take in that context. But
Your
anyways,
trucks. Just your trucks.
just your trucks. All right.
I went
but
to a monster truck rally. No, I didn't. But people.
you do realize all you're trying to do is goose the count, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But
I did
anyhow,
go to at Spacebucks. Some two different customers were saying they're going to a monster truck rally. I'm like, cool. What day? Sunday. Oh, that's just like the Lord intended. you get up, you go to church, you go see some monster trucks crashing into each
you know what you should do instead? You should go on a Saturday night, because then you don't have to listen to the sermon Sunday morning.
All right. Well, that's it for this week.
Hey,
that's right.
If you want to follow, if you
You
want to
follow-
get in touch with Donald personally,
some
he's got
reason.
some social media stuff.
You can follow me at Mathedon Creator on Facebook, at Mathedon64 on Twitter, and Mathedon64 on Instagram. Why 64? Because that's how many days in the year there are on my home planet.
What?
I'm an alien, by the way.
Huh?
This is how I reveal it.
What? God, and I was actually making honest jokes about sending characters to space.
I work in a space box. What do you think? Of course I'm an alien.
Anyway, this is the Ritwit, the show where us two twits have talked about not ending a
have
character's
really
arc.
Twitted ourselves out about reading.
Oh boy. But
I'm
until
Matt Donald.
I'm Matt David. Until next time, keep on writing the good right.
Ridding the good writs.
And stay safe and all that stuff.
Masks,
We'll see you next
vaccine,
time.
you know the drill by now. Yep.
You know the Jew drill.
You know the drill by now.
You know the jujitsu by now. That's what it is.
I'm so tired. Bye!
Take care. Gives us just over an hour to do two, right?
Yep.
The Ritwit Podcast.
It's not just writing. I invested a single penny at my bank, and since I'm only 1 inch tall, I've earned the equivalent of $1 million in interest.